Back to another heavy hitter heat here at the first QS 10,000 of the year. You're with us for the World Surf League's qualifying series. This is the Ballito Pro presented by O'Neill, coming to you from the east coast of South Africa. Just a good morning from myself, Gig Saliers, now joined by local ripper Mike Frew. Get out, current Championship Tour surfer J.Mendes will take on the red singlet, former Championship Tour surfer in M.Pupo. On screen, we'll go straight to the left-hander here as the talented Brazilian rips into this one. Very clear where he's going with this heat intention and looking very polished, as is a lot of the Brazilians here in Ballito this morning. And a nice little jam there as well for M.Pupo as Mendes and Pupo take on V.Ribeiro, the Portuguese surfer, along with the Hawaiian D.Payne. Good morning, Mike Frew. South Africa ranked 34th on the qualifying series. But, Mike, let's break down someone surfing that we know and appreciate so well, M.Pupo.
Yeah, look at that turn. Waves definitely offering more opportunity today in terms of face height. Great bottom turn to set up that snap on the third one. Bangs another one. A little bit of flair on the tail. Good morning, Gigs. Great to be joining you here on the webcast from a beautiful morning here in Ballito.
Well, V.Ribeiro will get going quite quickly. Former world junior champion. The Portuguese would love to get all the way to the final year top 10 on this qualifying series here. V.Ribeiro looking a lot more focused in 2019 than his other 5 starts on the qualifying series.
And stuck on that inside section as we see Vasco now off the top. Hard to get around that section. Drawn out bottom turn, snaps into the lip again, and certainly great energy in the waves.
So they will finish equal 49th on the standings as we see J.Mendes back in the Championship Tour this year again. Jesse will be in Jeffreys Bay next week for stop 6, the Corona Open J-Bay, but right now trying to back himself here on the qualifying series, a place that he called home for so many years.
He looks very light-footed, Gigs, and certainly don't get a sense of that giant frame. He's not much shorter than someone like Jordy Smith, up and riding.
D.Payne, already 30 years of age, comes back to Ballito this year to contest for qualifying series points. A little error there from Dusty as he goes down on that end section. We spoke on the morning show this morning, Mike, about injuries, and certainly someone that you cannot leave out of the discussion. D.Payne went through a horrific set of injuries over the last 18 months. And now down the line here, the priority being used by M.Pupo, who's looking like he is flowing beautifully. Seen strong performances from the Brazilian goofy footers here, particularly thinking of Wesley Dantes and Wiggly Dantes yesterday. Well, having a breakdown here of M.Pupo. You spoke about how light-footed yet powerful he is.
Yeah, look at the... hits that turn, then goes into a nice low centered gravity, whips the tail up.
Meanwhile, going the other way on that was M.Pupo.
M.Pupo taking to the air on that one, Gigs. Lands it nice and clean, full rotation. I agree with you, I wasn't crazy about the first two. He lacked a little bit of speed across those sections.
Yeah, I think he picked up on a little bit of a twisted shoulder there. Let's see how the shoulder works out here for V.Ribeiro, who lets go a big rip, 2-turn rip there for him. Little error there from V.Ribeiro, who, as we mentioned, is off to a much stronger start in 2019.
He is a real threat when it comes to the air game as M.Pupo, while up and riding V.Ribeiro. That was a lovely turn. It would have been great if he could have finished this, Gigs. Getting kind of stuck up, maybe went for the turn just a little late in the timing.
Into a 12.5 over the rest of the field is M.Pupo out front. V.Ribeiro, the Portuguese surfer, sits with a 3.83 in the scoreline. A little fall there, just dampening his score. Meanwhile, under the priority, following the live action here, this is a very good, lean, fast M.Pupo we're watching on screen here. Just changes up that timing. I'm going to say something here. This could be some of the best M.Pupo I've seen in a couple of years. But meanwhile, on the other side of the peak, here's that replay of Miguel.
I like the flow through these turns, Gigs. No hesitancy. Looks very confident. He's got great speed. This one especially. Speed into it, right round. No hesitancy. Goes straight into the next maneuver. 3 quick turns.
Years of M.Pupo. And someone who'd love to be in full-time Championship Tour employment is this man here, V.Ribeiro. Just Small wave here. He's a big lad, so he's got to find waves with a bit of power. Substandard size on that little left-hander, but still a 5-5 out of that for M.Pupo. As we see D.Payne having an absolute shocker with wave selection here in Ballito this morning.
Still waiting on that score for O'Neill to come in, but this is turning into a pretty tight heat. Here goes Mr. Kymerson though. Lovely whip off the top, comes off the bottom, throws it off the lip. He looks so comfortable out at this wave. Every year he pitches up in Ballito, and in the free surfs he's, like we said, always a standout. And you just see how comfortable he is. And most people would have given up on that wave. He's going through to the inside shore break and gets another big vertical hit. You can see that rock almost dry in front of him, so he's pretty committed to getting the score.
Someone that really hasn't had many injury stories is J.Mendes. We hope it stays that way as Jesse tucks in a couple of nice turns here. Strong performance there for 2 maneuver input for wave number 2. We'll bring J.Mendes into the heat. I was just sort of looking before Jesse took off on that particular wave, Mike, is there's going to be a little playoff here between V.Ribeiro and J.Mendes, definitely into second place. Let's break this one.
Look at that bottom turn, setting up a first turn. Not the most powerful turn. That one is a little bit better, a lot more critical. So
similar scores in different ways. Let's have a look now as Mendes switches his focus to the left-hander here in Ballito. We're into the second half of this heat, and Jesse will find a little crumpled section here to play with. There's a little pocket. Mendes will spike it nicely, and not able to just put the icing on the cake on the inside there for the 26-year-old Brazilian. And meanwhile, as we talk all things J.Mendes, he's back at. He's picked this one up on the way out. Little jab there. Combo sort of matching the flow of M.Pupo on the inside. He would have heard from the beach announcers that Pupo was fetching a 6 on that left-hander earlier. Ill-time boys out in the ocean and that. We don't have those big investments like you guys do up in the Pacific and other regions. As we watch V.Ribeiro get to work here. Strong first maneuver. Gears up the second one. Displaces water as he moves down the line, does the Portuguese. Nice snap there again for Vasco. Little pocket. Can he get ahead of that one? He can't. So again, a little bit at the end goes adrift for V.Ribeiro, our third place surfer on the hunt for the 5-6-7.
Came unstuck on that end section. This is a beautiful looking wave when he took off. Comes off the bottom. Great turn straight up at the lip. The wave now goes through that fatter section where the rip goes through it, and then it hits the inside bank where it starts jacking up. I thought he was possibly looking for an aerial down the line, the way you're setting that up. But the wave kind of running away from him.
Frustration run here in Ballito. Meanwhile, V.Ribeiro, our third place surfer, also needs to just up his numbers here.
As we watch V.Ribeiro's last one, this was a better wave for Vasco. Got a little momentum and generated speed down the line. Wave stands up similar to his last one on the bank. This time he manages it a little bit better. Goes for a flaring turn.
M.Pupo opened with a 6-5, then on wave 3, a 6. We haven't seen much yet as Pupo looks now only to be kind of fussy and take off on things that will up his numbers. Let's see how M.Pupo backs his judgment here as he goes 3-turn combination. He likes that one. Little shuckers coming out there as a semi-claim for your Brazilian in white. As we get deeper into the heat here, Mike Frew, are we going to see a points improvement? M.Pupo must better a 6 if he wants to nudge a new score into his scoreline.
Fortunately, it comes unstuck again. While this one, Gigs, the second wave of the set in the last couple of days has turned out to actually be the better one. The first wave has taken a lot of water off the bank, and the second wave of the set in the last 2 days is often, actually on that first day as well, has often been the better one with the potential higher score. And V.Ribeiro on the first one, so let's have a look at live action here.
Well, J.Mendes, second place surfer here, looking to up his numbers a bit. Jesse is sitting on a 4.53 as one of his counting scores. He's got to get to work. Look at J.Mendes here. This is the score that's added a bigger requirement to third and fourth place surfers.
So working his board side to side, almost digs a rail as he comes off that first turn. Wow, straight up at the lip and comes out clean.
Numbers against his opponents. Meanwhile, heat leader, Pupo. Little shift there, will come unstuck, so no points improvements there. Pupo nudged him even further into the lead. And where is D.Payne in all of this? Here goes Dusty. Will he do something special? Big elevation there as he pops that one into the air. Will go incomplete. And D.Payne will go straight back to the drawing board. Is there enough time to find another wave here? The two Brazilian goofy footers in M.Pupo and J.Mendes are on their way to the round of 48 here as we wrap this one up. V.Ribeiro and D.Payne will exit Ballito, finishing equal 49th and equal 73rd. With that, we'll take a quick break and we'll continue here from the Ballito Pro.